Coach, thank you for taking time with us after the match. We have a couple of questions about just the season in general.
Sure.
Can you give us your thoughts on your overall impression of the season?
This season, we were a young team. We had a lot of new guys stepping into new roles. So, I don't think I could say that we were expecting to be where we are, but we knew it was going to be a rough year, and our conference got so many great teams. It's really hard to have a young struggling team learning how to play at a high level that fast. But we learned a lot this year, and I'm looking forward to getting back after it when I get home and probably start up tomorrow for next season.
Can you further elaborate on if there was any disappointment from where you finished last season, 6th place in the MPSF, to where you are now?
Disappointed? I guess for that result, sure. Everyone wants to have a good result, but last year was an interesting year. We weren't able to compete for a conference title or anything like that. We had some seniors that had been very experienced and accomplished, and so going into this year, we knew we weren't going to have that leadership or anything, and so we were expecting to have some challenges. I think for sure. I think it ended up we had some unfortunate injuries at some horrible times this year. We had a few little other incidences that just kind of set us off track a little bit, but overall, I think we learned a ton about ourselves this year, and we've got a lot of good maturity growing through this tough character building year.
Can you tell us more about the process of the transition from NAIA to D2 and NCAA?
I think the biggest change is just the mindset of how the school and the teams prepare. Going into last year was a very different. You could tell there was a very different process by the teams, both that we would play and how we would prepare for the other teams. And so growing into it this year, we're putting a little bit more, and I know other teams are putting a little bit more into it. Because last year it's easier to say, maybe it wasn't as big a deal, but this year, you don't want to let anything go, and our conference has got so much great parity in it that you have to be prepared all the time.
Reflecting on this season, is there a surprise player or maybe even a surprise development that stood out in your mind?
Not particularly. I think everything's kind of right about where we expected levels. We were expecting to do a little bit more, but like I said, some unfortunate injuries. I guess you could put that in there. We had some horrible timed injuries at worst possible situations where we're starting to get some good things rolling, and then all of a sudden we have a couple of guys get out for a couple of weeks at a time, and that kind of throw a lot of tempo and timing and confidence off in the team. So if you flip it on the negative side of it, we did have some surprising things, but I would, as far as positive things, I think everyone was kind of right where we expected them to be, and had we been able to keep everything unified and together the way we hoped for the beginning of season without those injuries, I think would have been a little better shape.
Let's look forward towards next year. What do you see as the main things that you have to work on as a team in the off season?
Well, I think taking care of ourselves first and foremost, health-wise. I feel like we got beat up a little bit this year. We had some unfortunate injuries that caused us to miss some critical training and growth, and we're going to work hard to make sure that we give ourselves every opportunity to avoid some of those types of injuries. And we've got a good recruiting class coming in. We're going to go after it next year because I think now the younger guys know what to expect, what's ahead of them, and they're hungry to work hard and start training and really preparing for next year.
Speaking of that recruiting class, what can you tell us about it?
Well, there's a couple guys on your website already out there. We have a few more guys that are verbaled, and we've got a couple more that we're finalizing hopefully in the next week or so. And we're looking forward to having all of these guys come in, and it's going to be an exciting year.
All right, last question. What are your expectations for next season?
To compete and be at our highest level. I don't know if I'm not the type of coach who's going to predict a lot of stuff. I want our guys to improve every day in the fall and train hard and become the best that they can be, and we're at whatever that takes us to. That's where we'll be. Whether it's top 4 or 5 or middle of the pack, I don't know. I don't have a guess, because this year so much was reliant on health. UCLA, same situation. We had some unfortunate injuries at horrible times, and you can never predict those kind of things. You can only just train as hard as you can and make the guys as great as they can become, and the rest is kind of out of our hands.
Well, thank you for taking time with us, Coach, and hopefully your team gets healthy over the offseason, and good luck next year.
Thank you very much.